Hi, I'm author Beth K. Vogt, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my new novel, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. This is my first novel in my new Destination Wedding series, and it just came out June 30th. It's published by Howard Books. Crazy Little Thing Called Love asks the question, what if you discover that what you thought was your worst mistake was actually a right choice? Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever made a mistake? I know, that's a silly question, right? We all make mistakes. Some mistakes we make are minor. We make the mistake, we deal with the consequences, we move on. But then there are other mistakes that we make, and the consequences of that choice, of that action, follows us for the rest of our life. And that is what happens to my hero and heroine in Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Vanessa and Logan Hollister. They make a choice, and that choice is labeled their biggest mistake. And they have consequences that they deal with. And then they're confronted with a chance to face that mistake, face that choice, and decide, do they want to make the same choice again, or do they want to do something different? And that whole decision is what drove me as I wrote Crazy Little Thing Called Love. There were some other things that I was thinking about as I wrote Crazy Little Thing Called Love. The topic of getting married young. I had several friends get married right out of high school, and some of their marriages lasted and some of them didn't. But getting married young, does that determine the success of your marriage? Another topic that I was thinking about was eloping. When my husband and I got married, we actually talked about eloping, but we ended up getting married in a church. But I've had friends elope, and so that was something else I wanted to examine. And then I wanted to look at the topic of growing up in a military family. My husband was in the military for 24 years. He served in the Air Force, and we raised our children as military kids. We traveled, not as much as some military families, but we did move around a lot. And I know some of the issues that face military families, both spouses and their children. And so when I was writing Crazy Little Thing Called Love, I made my heroine, Vanessa, the daughter of a military dad. And so I examined how being a military child affected her. And it was just one possible way that growing up in a military family could affect you. And it was really fun to do that because I had her dad stationed in Florida, in Niceville, Florida, Destin area. And that is somewhere that our family was stationed for 8 years. So it was really fun to revisit an area that we lived in where we had good friendships and a lot of good memories. And so it was fun to set the book in an area that I loved, that I remember very fondly, and it was also fun to examine an issue that's very close to my heart. So those were some of the things that I was thinking about as I was writing Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Faith is also very important to me, and I always consider where my characters are in their faith journey. What do they believe about God? What do they need to learn about God as they're journeying through the book? And one of the things that I always ask myself as I'm writing is, if my characters were real, what do they need to learn about God? What new truth do they need to learn that would draw them closer to God? So I invite you to read Crazy Little Thing Called Love. You're hereby invited to a destination wedding in Destin, Florida for you. Attire is casual. And I just need to warn you that storm clouds are gathering on the Gulf Coast, and there is a storm watch for hurricane. So thanks for listening. Take care.